la vie dans les territoires contaminés, la façon de combattre les dangers qu'elle recèle, c'est le moment opportun pour donner la parole à Aya Mori et Wataru Iwata, qui sont des personnalités issues de la société civile japonaise de la région de Fukushima et qui, eux, à leur niveau, essayent justement de promouvoir les moyens de résister, de vivre, de rechercher dans les territoires contaminés dans lesquels ils vivent aujourd'hui. Je leur donne la parole.
It's over 1 year now, and we have lots of things to say, but we go very. I've been to Fukushima since the end of April. Last year was 10 portable Bible counters and 2 professional equipments.
Higher, please.
I created. At that time, it was really hard to obtain a measuring device in Japan. The price in internet auction was raised over 10 to 30 times higher than in Thailand. And all the distributors were stocked out. When I started to measure in Fukushima, I felt that it was like a wartime. People cannot speak their anxiety, toward radiation and nuclear plants accidents. A strong pressure was given not only by the authority and media, but also from their own family and community. With those pressures, also the stigma has been reproduced inside of themselves. I started to measure the adults rate with the mothers and fathers of Fukushima. They are not the type of activists, but ordinary people really wanted to know by themselves of the situation where they are living. Maybe sounds a bit strange for you. However, at that time, to measure, to know the situation is a kind of disobedience in society. I passed them on portable counters and told them how to use and asked them to put the results onto the internet site which we prepared, so then it would be useful information to many others too. Also, they have started to work by themselves for the others who wanted to know the level of radiation in their houses. Now, those young mothers and fathers who we worked together in the very beginning have evacuated through last year to this year, still now. In March, our 2 colleagues have moved from Fukushima. One went to Hokkaido and one went to Hyogo. With 2 professional equipments, people led me to measure for the community park, nursery, and school grounds and buildings. I asked them to gather more parents when I measured, so I did it with the parents and teachers also. At that time, most of their claims to school and teacher was to do something for the school lunch, which the policy of the prefecture was eat local and produce local, and which is good in the meantime, but it's not. So there were no certain food control for the inhabitants. That brought me the idea to install the measuring station because it was necessary. This is nursery. In the beginning of May, Pre-Lab had already decided to send 2 researchers. So then I asked them to bring a food screening device, and they did. This is the picture of the cooperative research with Pre-Lab researchers. We have started from Ishioka, Ibaraki Prefecture, Hitachi and Kita Ibaraki. Then we've been to Fukushima. This is the school ground of Fukushima City. They have measured the soil, and in last June, still they could find about like 1,000 becquerel per kilograms of iodine 131. So then they did calibrate back to at the time of the accidents. Then it was around the 3 million becquerel per kilograms. I mean per square meter in initial. And also we've been to Itate village, which was the indicated evacuation zone. We met with one cattle farmer and he was living in Nagadoro area, which the air dose rate at the 1 meter above the ground was about 12 to 15 microsievert per hour. And he carried his personal dosimeter since the April to middle of May. In just only 1.5 months, it was already 5 millisievert. Okay, it's his house. In his house, it's 2.4 microsievert per hour. In 20th of May last year, we held a food measuring event at Fukushima City. Really, a lot of people were lying before the event was started. We could accept around only 30 foodstuffs at the event. So this is the preparation before the event. Bruno and Christian from pre-lab. After the pre-lab research, I've been back to Fukushima in the beginning of June. Oh, these pictures are from the events. In June, I came back to Fukushima then to install the measuring station. With a great lot of help of pre-lab, Professor Koide from Curie, and many other researchers and citizens groups, we could have established a 9 measuring station in Fukushima Prefecture and 1 in Tokyo to back up the activity of Fukushima by the end of 2011. This is the Organic Farmers Association who we have been cooperating with. This is the Fukushima High School students. We work together. This is the map which they made. So these are the 9 measuring stations and 1 in Tokyo. I like to show you the image of Ceramics Fukushima present time. This is the entrance. And we have a high purity germanium detector and 2 sodium iodine scintillator for measuring foodstuffs, water, and we installed one whole body counter in the station. And in the end, I'd like to introduce you some figures to get the idea of the current situation. According to the announcement of TEPCO at the June 6th of 2011, they say 770,000 terabecquerel have been diffused. And then now, the February 2nd of this year, they estimated, they changed 480,000 terabecquerel. But it's not very easy to say that they are trying to underestimate because nobody knows what really happened. Okay, so this is the current situation. The January 29th, according to TEPCO, it's 72 million becquerel per hour total cesium are emitting still. And in the February 27th, then they said 10 million becquerel per hour emitting. But we don't have a way to cross-check those data, so the continuous investigation are necessary. And a big difference between Chernobyl and Fukushima, it's not shielded yet. It's open air, and sometimes we suppose the spontaneous reaction happened, and we suppose also TEPCO don't know what's really happening inside the reactor, and which means accident is not over yet. We still have sometimes earthquake, sometimes quite big, and we are really concerned about the fourth reactor building. It's kind of lean, so it's more easy to collapse. And when it's collapsed, you know. This is the restored monitoring post data, which was restored by prefectural officer, and he called for the help on the internet site. These 3 monitoring posts, the authority has announced us at the very beginning that they were dragged by tsunami, but now we have them. And with those monitoring post data, some researchers from Jamstack and the other institution trying to build simulation of the diffusion. And now we know that the quite huge amount of iodine 131 has passed the Iwaki City. Now people are recognized Iwaki City as the lower dose areas, but actually in the 15th and 16th of March last year, the massive amount of iodine 131 has passed. And so this also, we need continuous investigation, and we need to build something to cross-check with the data published from the authority. Okay. And CRMS is the measuring station, so of course we measure, but not only to that, we are aiming to be the overall radiation protection group organization. And Chief Commissioner Aya Marumori is also in charge of health and care program. She will tell you more precisely about our health and care project, and also what is going on at Fukushima in the aspect of health. Thank you.
Madame Aya Marumori, présidente du laboratoire indépendant japonais CRMS, dont on vous a déjà parlé un petit peu ce matin. Branchez le micro de...
Can you lower the microphones?
No, you just talk.
Le responsable de la sono, s'il vous plaît.
It's okay? No. Oh, okay. Our Japanese government has not informed the risk and the exact situation of the accident. A lot of residents have been exposed without any warning since the beginning. Furthermore, it has been announcing no effect on the health from such a low dose and no need to evacuate. Our children have to be able to live in contamination without any protection from radiation, from exposure, They say the program is a stress to be afraid because of the illiteracy on the radioactivity. The radiophobia is more dangerous. We couldn't have been expressing out loudly our concern and anxiety. Fukushima's health survey began from June last year. The recovery rate of the survey is 21.5% until March this year. Public opinion poll about the Fukushima's health survey. The question is, do you think this survey is useful or not? The